I looked into the disciplinary actions of the New Jersey State Board of Psychological Examiners. The one reason that stood out to me most was the ethical issue is having sexual and romantic relations with one's client. I noticed the key difference between the men and women counselors were that the male counselors who formed sexual or romantic relationships did it in order to have a sexual encounter with the client, while the women who formed these relationships did it in order to have an intimate relationship with the clients. Personally, I believe in monogamy and sticking to one's partners. I find it despicable that these therapists would use their power over their vulnerable clients in order to enact these types of situations. Furthermore, more often than not, the client who did not have these relations with their counselor were often in relationships and marriages, which goes against my religious belief by violating the sanctity of marriage. In one case I viewed, there was a man who engaged sexually with his female patient. He was charged with 5 charges of professional misconduct and 3 charges of professional incompetence. One of the codes from New Jersey State Code was 1334 10.3, which means that he was engaging outside the scope of his practice. An ACA ethical code that he had violated was Code A.5.A, which explicitly states that a counselor is forbidden from having sexual relationships with their clients. The final ruling was that the counselor had his practicing license suspended for 2 years with an 18-month probation period, as well as not being able to contact his former patient with whom he had a relationship. Additionally, he was charged with $25,000 in civility payments, as well as an ordered $10,000 within 6 months of opening his practice after the suspension. The ACA Code of Ethics, Code C.2.G, states that counselors that find that they are in any form of impairment are not to counsel until they recover from their own physical, mental, or emotional problems. The New Jersey State Code 49.5075 states that counselors are not to counsel or undertake new clients while impaired by any physical, mental, emotional, or pharmacological influences. A question that comes to mind with looking at the specific reason for licensure suspension is the events that come to the counselor that make the counselor want to commit these acts. Are they not satisfied with their own sexual life, or does the power that they have over the client make them want to take advantage of them? Additionally, do they not know the penalty of what happens if and when the client reports this? Grade 22 claims that the ethical violation could be caused by a lack of morality, which could lead to these instances of licensure suspension. For the case above, he ultimately lost his primary job for 2 years, so he has no income coming in, and on top of that, he has to pay $35,000 within the span of 2.5 years. After knowing all the potential outcomes and an almost guarantee that you will be caught, my question is, why would a therapist ruin their life by trying to commit these acts? Thank you.